Simpler. What if I told you it's not your age that determines your wealth, it's your rules? Some people start at 20 and struggle at 60. Others start at 45 and build freedom by 55. The difference? They followed the right money principles. Tonight, I'm going to share 7 money rules that build wealth at any age, whether you are 18 or 58. Because money doesn't respond to hope, it responds to discipline. Income is not something you chase, it is something you attract by the person you become. Simpler. Most people try to increase their earnings without increasing their capacity. They want a bigger paycheck but refuse to grow a bigger mindset. Yet the marketplace does not reward need, it rewards value. And value is born from growth. Your income rarely rises above your level of personal development. If your thinking is limited, your earnings will be limited. If your skills are average, your income will be average. Simpler. But when you expand your knowledge, sharpen your discipline, strengthen your character, and refine your communication, something powerful happens. Opportunities begin to notice you. Growth is not just intellectual, it is spiritual, it is emotional, it is moral. When you develop integrity, people trust you. When you develop discipline, people rely on you. When you develop wisdom, people seek you. And trust, reliability, and wisdom are always rewarded. Simpler. There is a divine principle written into life: you reap what you sow. If you sow laziness, you reap struggle. If you sow growth, you reap increase. Every hour spent learning, reading, practicing, improving your craft, it is a seed planted into your future provision. God did not design you to live small. He placed potential inside you like a hidden treasure. But treasure must be uncovered. It requires effort. It requires humility. It requires the courage to admit I can become better. Simpler. When you grow, your confidence changes. When your confidence changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your results change. And suddenly, doors that once seemed closed begin to open. Personal development is painful at times. It forces you to confront your weaknesses. It exposes your excuses. It challenges your habits. But pain is proof that expansion is happening. Muscles grow under tension. Character grows under pressure. Income grows when competence grows. Simpler. You cannot demand a harvest from land you never cultivate. Every book you read stretches your thinking. Every skill you practice increases your value. Every disciplined morning builds your future strength. Imagine who you could become in 5 years if you refuse to stay the same. Imagine the peace of knowing your provision is increasing because your capacity is increasing. Simpler. Imagine being able to support your family, give generously, live with dignity, not because luck found you, but because growth transformed you. The world pays for solutions. The more problems you can solve, the more income you can earn. And problem-solving ability is the fruit of development. It is not about working longer hours. It is about becoming more capable within those hours. 1 skilled hour can be worth 10 unskilled hours. 1 disciplined mind can outperform 10 distracted minds. Simpler. When you invest in yourself, you are honoring the gift of potential entrusted to you. You are stewarding your abilities. You are refusing to bury your talents out of fear. And that decision to grow daily, to learn consistently, to improve intentionally, quietly lifts your income to match the person you are becoming. Most people live by a dangerous formula. Earn right arrow, spin right arrow, hope there's something left. But wealth is built by a different order. Earn right arrow, save right arrow, spin what remains. Simpler. The order changes everything. Saving before you spend is not about restriction, it is about respect. Respect for your future. Respect for your effort. Respect for the provision that comes into your hands. When money enters your life, it carries possibility. It carries security. It carries opportunity. And if you spend it all without intention, you are not just losing currency, you are losing future freedom. Saving first is an act of discipline, and discipline is an act of faith. Simpler. It says, I believe tomorrow matters. There is a spiritual principle woven into life. The wise store in seasons of plenty. Preparation is wisdom. Carelessness is regret waiting to happen. When you save first, you are practicing stewardship. You are saying, I will not consume everything placed in my hands. I will protect a portion. I will grow a portion. Saving changes your psychology. When you know you have reserves, fear decreases. When fear decreases, confidence increases. Simpler. When confidence increases, decisions improve. Financial stress destroys peace, and peace is priceless. Every time you save before you spend, you are building a wall of protection around your life. Emergencies come, opportunities come, challenges come, but savings turns panic into patience. Saving is not about amount, it is about habit. Even a small percentage saved consistently builds identity. You begin to see yourself as disciplined, responsible, forward-thinking, and identity drives behavior. Many people say, I will save when I earn more. But if you cannot save from a little, you will not save from a lot. Income does not create discipline. Discipline creates wealth. There is emotion attached to spending. It feels good in the moment. It satisfies desire. But saving satisfies something deeper: security, strength, self-control. Delayed gratification is power. When you resist the impulse to spend everything, you strengthen your character. And character determines financial destiny. Imagine the relief of knowing you are not living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine the strength of having options. Imagine being able to help your family handle emergencies, invest when opportunity appears because you chose discipline over impulse. Saving before spending is not about depriving yourself of joy. It is about protecting your future joy. Every saved dollar is a soldier guarding your peace. Every saved portion is a seed planted into stability. And stability creates confidence. Confidence creates clarity. And clarity creates better financial decisions. Most people pay everyone else first: the landlord, the bills, the market, their desires. And at the end of the month, they look at what remains, and usually nothing does. But financial strength begins when you reverse the order. Before the world takes its share, you take yours. Paying yourself first is not selfish. It is strategic. It is disciplined. It is an act of self-respect. When income enters your hands, it represents your time, your energy, your life hours. And if you give all of it away without reserving a portion for your future, you are living only for today and neglecting tomorrow. Consistency is the key. Not once, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, but every single time. Whether it is 5%, 10%, or even a small fixed amount, the percentage is less important than the pattern. Because patterns shape identity. When you pay yourself first consistently, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer surviving. You are building. You are no longer reacting. You are preparing. There is a divine principle in stewardship: what you manage wisely multiplies. If you treat your income casually, it disappears casually. But when you honor it by setting aside a portion intentionally, you create space for growth. Consistency transforms small actions into powerful outcomes. One deposit may look insignificant. 1 month may seem small. But years of discipline create security. Emotion says, I deserve to spend this. Wisdom says, I deserve to protect my future. Every time you pay yourself first, you are making a declaration: my future family matters. My peace of mind matters. My long-term freedom matters. You are breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. You are refusing to let lifestyle control your destiny. And there is something deeply empowering about watching your reserves grow. It builds quiet confidence. It reduces anxiety. It strengthens patience. You stop making desperate decisions because desperation disappears when preparation increases. Consistency also builds faith. Faith that your efforts are not wasted. Faith that small disciplined acts are seeds. Faith that tomorrow will reward today's obedience. The world teaches consumption. Discipline teaches accumulation. The world promotes instant gratification. Wisdom promotes delayed reward. When you pay yourself first consistently, you are training your mind to think long-term. You are teaching yourself that you are worth investing in. You are planting seeds of ownership, independence, and stability. And over time, what began as a simple habit becomes a foundation that supports opportunity, generosity, and financial strength. If you only work for money, your income will always depend on your energy. When you stop working, the income slows down. When you rest, the flow pauses. But when you invest, you create leverage, and leverage allows money to work while you sleep. There is a powerful difference between earning and owning. Earning depends on effort. Owning creates expansion. Most people are trained to trade hours for income. They are taught to get a job, work hard, and hope for increases. There is dignity in work, but there is freedom in ownership. Investment is the bridge between effort and freedom. When you invest, you are buying assets that produce value beyond your personal labor. Businesses, skills, markets, systems. These are tools that multiply your time. Leverage is multiplication. 1 hour of work earns once. One wise investment can earn repeatedly. This is not about greed. It is about growth. It is about positioning yourself wisely so that your income does not rely solely on your physical presence. There is a principle woven into creation. What is planted grows, but only what is planted. If you consume everything, nothing multiplies. If you invest wisely, increase begins. Ownership changes your mindset. Employees think in terms of salary. Owners think in terms of assets. An employee asks, how much do I make this month? An owner asks, how much does this produce over time? When you begin to own even small assets, your thinking expands. You begin to analyze opportunities. You begin to ask better questions. You begin to move from survival to strategy. Emotion pushes people to spend. Wisdom guides people to invest. Investing requires patience. It requires study. It requires discipline. There will be fear. There will be uncertainty. But growth never happens in comfort. Financial maturity means learning before risking. It means understanding what you put your money into. It means choosing long-term value over short-term excitement. There is something empowering about ownership. Ownership builds confidence. Ownership builds responsibility. Ownership builds legacy. When you own assets, you are building something that can outlive your effort, something that can support your family, something that can create stability beyond your daily work. Leverage gives you options, and options create freedom. Freedom to choose your time, freedom to give generously, freedom to live without constant pressure. Investing is not about getting rich overnight. It is about creating systems that grow steadily. It is about understanding that time combined with discipline becomes powerful. And when you commit to leverage and ownership, you step into a higher financial dimension, one where your money is no longer just spent, but strategically positioned to multiply and expand. Money is not just mathematical, it is emotional. And most financial failure is not caused by lack of intelligence, it is caused by lack of emotional control. Fear keeps people from investing. Greed pushes people into reckless risks. Pride forces unnecessary spending. Envy drives comparison. If you do not master your emotions around money, your emotions will master your bank account. Money amplifies who you already are. If you are impulsive, you will spend impulsively. If you are insecure, you will spend to impress. If you are fearful, you will avoid opportunities that could grow you. Financial maturity begins inside, not outside. There is a deep spiritual truth in self-control. Discipline is not weakness, it is strength under command. When you control your desires, you protect your destiny. When you resist emotional decisions, you preserve your future. Impulse feels powerful in the moment. Wisdom feels quiet, but it builds power over time. Think about the purchases made in anger, the investments made in hype, the opportunities missed because of fear. Emotion is temporary. Consequences are permanent. When markets rise, excitement whispers, put everything in. When markets fall, fear screams, pull everything out. But calm thinking builds wealth. Patience protects capital. Clarity prevents regret. To master money, you must first master yourself. Pause before big decisions. Pray before major commitments. Think long-term before reacting short-term. There is peace in discipline. There is strength in restraint. The one who controls their appetite controls their future. The one who can delay gratification builds endurance. And endurance builds stability. Imagine the confidence of knowing you do not make financial decisions based on mood. Imagine the power of being steady when others panic. Imagine the strength of being patient when others rush. Emotional control turns chaos into clarity, turns fear into faith. It turns impulse into intention. Money responds to calm leadership. When you detach ego from income, you stop trying to prove yourself through possessions. When you detach fear from investment, you start making rational, studied decisions. When you detach pride from lifestyle, you stop spending to impress people who are not paying your bills. There is honor in humility. There is wisdom in patience. And when you discipline your emotions, you create a foundation that no economic storm can easily shake, because stability is built inside before it appears outside. Success is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in quiet repetition. Most people look for intensity, a breakthrough, a sudden opportunity, a lucky event. But wealth, character, and financial stability are not created by intensity. They are created by disciplined consistency. One day of saving will not change your life. One workout will not transform your body. One investment will not secure your future. But repeated daily action will. Consistency is proof of commitment. It shows what you truly believe. Anyone can be motivated for a week. Anyone can be inspired for a month. But only the discipline continue when emotion fades. Emotion starts. Discipline sustains. There is a spiritual principle in perseverance. Steadfast effort is rewarded. Seeds do not grow overnight. They grow quietly beneath the surface before the harvest appears. In the same way, financial habits compound invisibly before results become visible. Many people quit because they do not see immediate results. They save for 3 months and expect transformation. They invest for a year and expect wealth. But greatness respects patience. Consistency compounds. A small amount invested monthly becomes powerful over time. A small skill improved daily becomes expertise. A small habit repeated faithfully becomes identity. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. When you practice disciplined consistency, you train your mind to value long-term reward over short-term pleasure. You strengthen your will. You reduce chaos. You create rhythm in your life. There will be days when you do not feel like saving. days when learning feels tiring, days when progress feels slow. Those are the days that matter most. Because discipline on difficult days builds character, and character sustains wealth. Imagine the emotional strength of knowing you can rely on yourself. Imagine waking up each month and seeing steady growth, not because of luck, but because you refuse to stop. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing your future is being built quietly, faithfully, steadily. Consistency removes fear. It replaces anxiety with structure. It replaces randomness with strategy. It is not flashy. It is not loud. It is not dramatic, but it is powerful. The world celebrates overnight success. Reality rewards daily effort. When you practice discipline consistency, you step into alignment with a deeper law of increase the law that honors faithfulness in small things before entrusting larger things. And over time, what once felt small becomes significant, what once seemed slow becomes unstoppable, and what once required effort becomes a natural expression of who you have become. There is a silent force more powerful than talent, more powerful than connections, more powerful than even income, and that force is time. Time is the great multiplier. What you do with money for 1 year shows little difference. What you do consistently for 10 years changes everything. Most people delay. It'll start when I earn more. It'll start when things settle down. It'll start next year. But delay is expensive. Every day you postpone discipline, you postpone growth. Every year you hesitate, you surrender compounding. And compounding is not dramatic at first, it is quiet, almost invisible. But give it time and it becomes unstoppable. A small investment started today can outperform a large investment started years later. Why? Why? Because time multiplies effort. Time turns small savings into stability. Time turns small investments into assets. Time turns small habits into transformation. There is a spiritual urgency in wise action. Life is a trust. Opportunity is a gift. And tomorrow is never guaranteed. When you delay improvement, you assume you control time, but time moves forward whether you act or not. The question is not whether time will pass. The question is whether it will pass with growth. Starting immediately does not require perfection. It requires decision. You do not need to know everything. You do not need large capital. You do not need ideal conditions. You need commitment. Emotion says, wait until it's easier. Wisdom says, begin while it's small. The early days feel insignificant. The numbers look small. The progress feels slow. But something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Habits are forming. Identity is shifting. Discipline is strengthening. Imagine looking back 10 years from now and thanking yourself for starting today. Imagine the regret of wishing you had begun earlier. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret is lasting. Time magnifies consistency. 1 year of effort builds confidence. 5 years builds momentum. 10 years builds freedom. When you start immediately, you align yourself with the power of multiplication. You give your effort room to grow. You give your investment space to compound. You give your discipline time to mature. Even faith works this way. A seed planted today does not bear fruit tomorrow. But planted early and nurtured patiently, it produces a harvest in its season. Do not underestimate small beginnings. Great financial strength often starts with a modest first step, a simple savings account, a small investment, a new skill learned. The difference between those who struggle and those who succeed is often not intelligence, it is timing. One decided earlier, one delayed longer. And when you choose to begin now, not perfectly, not dramatically, but decisively, you activate the most powerful financial partner available to you, time itself. Your bank account is a mirror. It reflects your habits, your discipline, and your philosophy. You don't need a different economy. You need a different standard. Start with one rule today, then another tomorrow. Small disciplined decisions create massive financial freedom. Your age does not limit you. Your action does. The question is not, can I? The question is, will I begin?